Have you ever paused long enough to truly listen to the silence within you? Not just the absence of noise, but the deeper kind of silence that lives beneath your thoughts, beneath your breath, beneath even your sense of identity. What if I told you that hidden inside this silence is a sound, not made by the world, not heard by the ears, but experienced by the soul? A sound so ancient, so sacred, that it has been vibrating since the beginning of time itself. It is not outside of you. It is within you. But here's the mystery: only those who become still enough, quiet enough, can hear it. This isn't a poetic metaphor. This is a very real experience, described by yogis, sages, and saints across the ages. They called it AUM, also known as Om, the cosmic sound, the vibration of spirit, the divine frequency through which the universe was created and is continuously sustained. Paramhansa Yogananda, one of the greatest spiritual masters of modern times, often spoke of this sound as the sacred voice of God, not speaking in words, but resonating as a deep hum of infinite presence. But in our noisy world, full of distractions, stress, and endless thinking, we've forgotten how to listen. And so, this inner sound remains unnoticed by most. Yet, it patiently waits for our return. Today, dear seeker, we are going on a sacred journey to understand what this inner sound truly is, why most never hear it, and how you can begin to rediscover it within yourself. Because the moment you hear it is the moment you remember who you really are. Within you, right now, there is a sound that never began and will never end. It is not a sound you can hear with your physical ears. It is a sound that belongs to your soul. This sacred vibration is called AUM, also pronounced Om, the cosmic hum that flows through all of creation. It is the divine frequency that underlies everything: the stars, the oceans, the trees, the wind, your thoughts, your breath, your very being. Paramhansa Yogananda called it the voice of God, not a voice that speaks in human language, but a vibrational presence, a living pulse that fills all of existence. This inner sound, AUM, Om, is the first and last sound, the one from which the universe emerged and into which it will one day dissolve. In yoga and in the ancient Vedic scriptures, it is described as the pranav, the original vibration, the mother of all other sounds. It is always there, resonating silently inside your spine, inside your brain, within the subtle energy channels of your body. But it cannot be heard through effort or noise. It is heard only through inner stillness, when the mind becomes quiet and the senses turn inward. Just as a radio must be tuned to the right frequency to pick up a signal, so too must your awareness become calm and concentrated to perceive this inner sound. It is not imagination. It is not metaphor. It is real. And once you hear it, you will recognize it as something familiar, something ancient, something that feels like home. This sound is not separate from you. It is you, the deepest part of you, the soul's eternal song, gently calling you back to the infinite. If this sacred sound of AUM, Om, is always present within us, then why don't we hear it? Why do so many people go through life unaware of this divine vibration that lives right at the center of their being? The answer is simple, but profound. It is because of restlessness. Our minds are constantly moving, filled with desires, fears, memories, and worries. Our senses are always turned outward, chasing distractions, noise, and stimulation. In this state, we are like a lake with rippling waves, and just as a disturbed lake cannot reflect the moon, a restless mind cannot reflect the stillness needed to hear the inner sound. Paramhansa Yogananda often said, "Only when the mind is calm and the senses are withdrawn, can the yogi hear the sound of AUM, Om. This cosmic vibration is not hiding from us, it is we who are too agitated, too outwardly focused, to perceive it. Our modern world teaches us to look everywhere else, at screens, at status, at success, but rarely to look within. And yet, it is within the inner silence where the true miracle happens. When we begin to calm the breath, quiet the thoughts, and gently withdraw the senses from the outer world, something begins to shift. A sacred stillness arises. And in that stillness, the first whispers of Om may be heard, like a distant hum or the sound of wind far away. It is subtle but unmistakable. And once you begin to taste this inner silence, you realize that the real reason you never heard it before was because you had never truly listened. The sound was always there, waiting for you to come home to it. So how can we begin to hear this sacred sound of Om? What opens the inner ear to perceive this divine vibration? The ancient yogic path provides clear and time-tested methods for this. Through the science of meditation, especially the sacred practice of Kriya Yoga, the seeker gradually quiets the body, stills the breath, and calms the mind. These steps are not just for relaxation, they are sacred preparations to tune our awareness to the subtle frequency of the inner sound. First, we learn to withdraw the senses from the outer world. We close our eyes and sit with the spine upright, allowing the body to become still. Then, we bring our attention gently to the spiritual eye, the point between the eyebrows, which is the doorway to inner perception. As we continue to calm the breath and center the mind, the noise of the outer world fades, and we begin to enter an inner space of silence. In this silence, the sound of Om may arise naturally. At first, it might come softly, like the buzzing of a distant bee, the gentle hum of electricity, or the far-off sound of wind through trees. These are not imagined sounds. They are real, subtle vibrations of spirit, heard through the awakened inner perception. Paramhansa Yogananda taught that Om is the sacred bridge between the physical world and the divine. He said, the cosmic sound of Om is the link between matter and spirit. To hear it is to draw closer to the infinite. As your practice deepens, the sound becomes clearer, stronger, more beautiful. And the more you listen, the more your heart begins to recognize it, not as something new, but as something you have always known. To hear the inner sound of Om is not just a mystical experience, it is a profound transformation of the soul. This sacred vibration carries with it divine power, and listening to it regularly brings immense spiritual benefits. Paramhansa Yogananda taught that Om is the holy comforter, promised in many scriptures, a living presence that uplifts, heals, and liberates the soul. When you begin to attune your consciousness to this vibration, it starts to purify your nervous system, dissolve mental restlessness, and burn the seeds of past karma. In its presence, fear fades, confusion clears, and a deep, unshakable peace arises from within. As the sound of Om becomes clearer through meditation, your mind naturally begins to quiet down. You no longer chase thoughts, they fall away on their own, like leaves in autumn. You no longer feel the need to seek peace from the outside world, because a greater peace is blooming within. This inner sound draws your awareness inward, beyond the body, beyond the thoughts, into the pure presence of the soul. And in that space, joy begins to rise, a joy that has no cause, a bliss that has no limits. The Bhagavad Gita, one of the most sacred scriptures of India, declares, "He who meditates upon Om with sincerity and devotion reaches the Supreme." This is not symbolic, it is a direct promise to the sincere seeker. Each time you sit in stillness and listen deeply within, you strengthen your soul's connection with God. And over time, this sacred sound will not only guide you inward, but upward, toward the light, toward the infinite, toward the boundless love that is your true nature. Dear soul, if you feel drawn to hear the sacred sound of Om, know that the journey begins with a simple step, a willingness to sit in stillness and listen within. You don't need to be advanced or perfect. You only need to be sincere. Here is a gentle practice, shared by Paramhansa Yogananda, to help you begin tuning into this divine vibration. First, find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Sit comfortably with your spine straight and your body relaxed. Let your hands rest gently on your lap and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling slowly and exhaling even more slowly. With each breath, let go of any tension in the body, any thoughts in the mind. Let yourself sink into stillness. Now, gently bring your attention to the point between your eyebrows, the spiritual eye, the inner doorway to higher perception. Don't strain, just calmly focus there with love and devotion. Begin to listen, not with your ears, but with your awareness. Listen into the silence, as if waiting for a subtle whisper. You may begin to sense a soft humming, a ringing, or a sound like the ocean in the distance. Or perhaps there is just stillness, and that is perfectly okay too. The key is not to force or expect. The sound of Om will reveal itself naturally as your mind becomes quieter over time. Yogananda said, "Patience and stillness are the golden doors through which the infinite enters." Even if you hear nothing at first, your sincere effort is never wasted. Each moment of inward attention brings you closer to the sacred presence that has always lived within you. As your inner stillness deepens, something miraculous begins to unfold. The sound of Om, once faint and distant, becomes clearer, more vibrant, more alive. What began as a soft hum may now swell into a powerful inner current, a sacred vibration that seems to wrap your entire being in its presence. Advanced yogis describe hearing many layers of divine sound, the gentle ringing of bells, the soft music of flutes, the deep roar of ocean waves, or even the sound of rushing wine through infinite space. These are not fantasy or imagination. They are the living sounds of spirit, the music of the soul as it ascends toward the infinite. In these higher states of awareness, the sound of Om, becomes your guide, gently pulling your consciousness away from the body and mind, and leading it into the radiant silence of pure spirit. It is said that Om, is the sacred stairway that connects this world to the higher realms. And when the soul is ready, this sound becomes the bridge that carries you into the light, into deep communion with the divine. This inner journey is not just for monks or saints. It is available to anyone who is willing to be still, to listen, and to love. Yogananda taught that in hearing Om, the soul remembers its true home. It no longer identifies with the small self, but awakens to its eternal nature. It realizes, at last, that it is not separate from God, it is one with God. And all of this begins not through effort, but through surrender, through silence, through simply listening within. Beloved soul, the sacred sound of Om, is not a mystery meant for the few, it is the eternal gift that lives within every one of us. No matter your background, your past, or your current struggles, this divine presence is closer than your breath, nearer than your heartbeat. It does not ask for perfection. It only asks for your stillness, your sincerity, and your willingness to turn inward. Each time you sit in silence, each time you gently withdraw from the noise of the world, you are drawing closer to the source of all peace, all love, and all truth. Paramhansa Yogananda lovingly reminded us that Om, is the divine comforter, the living presence of God that will guide, protect, and uplift you when the outer world can no longer satisfy the soul's deepest longing. If you begin this inward journey with devotion and patience, even for just a few minutes each day, your life will slowly begin to change. You will begin to feel more calm, more centered, more connected to something vast and beautiful within you. If this message touched your heart, I invite you to share your experience in the comments below. Have you ever heard a sound in deep silence? Do you feel drawn to explore this sacred vibration of Om? Let us know, your reflection may inspire another seeker on their path. And if you'd like more videos that help you connect deeply with your inner self, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and gently ring the bell icon so you never miss a moment of sacred guidance. Until we meet again in silence and truth. May your soul always listen, and may your heart always remember. Jai Gurudev.